Hello students. I have a question over here. The question is about the interest rate parity, and we want to see in this question that whether there is an opportunity to earn the covered interest arbitrage or not. So there is an investor and he has the following data in hand. The interest rate on the like in the US market is 5%. The interest rate in the UK market is 8% on the similar bond with the same characteristics, and he needs to invest it for his funds for the whole years. We are assuming that he has the funds of $1 million available with him. So $1 million is actually the investment funds available for the investment, and to earn the riskless profit if the interest rate parity condition is violated. So we want to check that. Now the spot rate today between the US dollar and Great Britain pound is 1.8, means 1.8 units of US dollars are needed to buy 1 unit of the pound. So it means that the base currency is pound and the price currency is the US dollars. And based on the difference of the interest rate 1 year onward, the calculation should tell us that what would be the future spot rate. But because we are calculating it today, so this should tell us that what is the forward rate. So the forward rate is given over here, and we need to check that whether the interest rate parity holds. In other words, this is the spot rate, which is the dollar 1.8 per pound, and today we have the forward rate 1 year, means this is the approximation that what would be the spot rate after 360 days or after a year over here. So when you will go after a year, the spot rate expected spot rate at that time after a year should be $1.78 for each pound. So this is the calculation. This is this forward rate given to us right now. Now, in order to check whether the interest rate parity holds, because if the interest rate parity holds, then there is no question to earn the covered interest arbitrage. But if it does not hold, then there is an arbitrage opportunity that one can earn the riskless profit. And in order to do that, we need to check this equation. Forward ratio of the forward rate, number of days divided by the spot rate should be equal to, and let's give us the currency D and currency F, where F is the base currency. You can also say it D and F currency as D for domestic currency and F for foreign currency. And on the right hand side, the equation should be like the interest in the domestic country multiplied by the number of days whole divided by this should be divided by 360, and then the interest rate in the foreign country multiplied by the number of days divided by the 360. We need to check this equation, because in this case this is the investment for the 1 year, so we easily can see that this number of days is 360. So 360 divided by 360, and over here also 360 divided by 360 will give us 1. So all we will be left with the interest in the domestic country and interest in the foreign country. So now let's plug in the numbers and see if the right hand side is equal of the equation is equal to the left hand side or not. If not, then we have the arbitrage opportunity, because the interest rate parity is violated. So if you plug in what is the forward rate right now, so we have the forward rate of 1.78 divided by 1.8, is equal to 1. Forgot actually one thing. It should not only be the interest rate, it's actually 1 plus the interest rate and 1 plus the interest rate over here. So 1 plus the interest, which is in the because the domestic currency over here, in the calculation we are using this dollar as a D currency. So this is 5%, whole divided by 1 plus this IF we are considering over here is for the pound, which is this one, this F, and over here in the base we have pound. So pound is actually the 8%, right? So if we see, it's 8%, and you can convert this into decimals, and if you do the calculation, you will find that the both sides of the equations are not equal. So in fact, these are not equation, there is an inequality. So this is not equal, left hand side is not equal to the right hand side. So it means what? That the ratio of the forward to spot is greater than 1 plus, if these are in DF, where D is the price currency and F is the base currency, then this is happening right now. So what do we have? We have the violation of the interest rate parity. And what does it tell us? It tells us that we have the arbitrage opportunity. Right? So if this arbitrage opportunity is there, then what do? We will go with this technique that we will first of all in the step 1, we will, if I'm talking about in a generic term, then we will borrow in the D units and agree to pay the interest rate ID, right? This interest rate we will agree to pay. In the second, right away we will sell this D unit which we have borrowed, right, and buy the F units at the spot rate. And what was the spot rate? Whatever is the spot rate is given, so that the spot rate you will be using, right? In the third step, we will invest what the foreign currency we have able to get at the IF, and whatever we are getting, the final thing we will be left with will be like this: F into 1 plus IF, right? And in the fourth step, simultaneously, we will basically sell over F currency, whatever the final proceed we will get, and convert back to the domestic or D currency. We will be able to get back over D currency, and we are converting it at the forward rate. Right? Now let's start that how we are actually doing these questions. So if you remember, the total we have available funds to invest and earn the covered interest arbitrage is 1 million. So we will start with the 1 million. So in this step 1, what we will do, we will borrow now $1 million, which actually in the question I have already given, right? And after a year, we agree to pay the 5% on it. So it means after a year, we will be paying how much total? Obviously, the principal back plus the interest back. So we agree to pay after a year your $1 million into 1 plus 5%, right? So if you will do the calculation, you need to pay along with the principal the total the interest of 50,000, and along with the principal it is 1,050,000. This is what you need to pay, right? Now we know that this number we need to pay, but in this step 2, because we have $1 million, we will convert this into the foreign currency at the spot rate. So we will convert the $1 million over here at the spot rate. And what was the spot rate? You can see that spot rate is over this thing, 1.8 units of dollars to buy 1 pound, because we are having actually the dollars in hand. In order to convert to the pounds, we need to take its reciprocal. This currency is reciprocal, so it means 1 divided by 1.8, and whatever is the answer we'll get, we have to multiply it with this 1 million. So you will get actually pound 1 million divided by 1.8, and this is equal to your pound of 555,000 and 555.56. This you will be getting. In this step number 3, now you need to invest these pounds at the 8%, because that is the interest rate in the UK market. So you know that after a year, what you will be getting? You will be getting 555,555.56 into, remember this line suggests actually that we have a decimal, right? Into 1 plus 0.08, and in other words 8%. And if you do the calculation, after a year you will be getting 600,000 after a year. Now at this step 4, all these steps you are doing right now, you know that after a year you will get 600,000, and because the forward rate is not the right forward rate, that is the reason there is a violation of the interest rate parity. You need to convert this 600,000 pounds back at the current forward rate, which is this one today, back to the to get the dollar proceeds in order to get the profit. So you will lock into the conversion today at the forward rate. So if you see, you can get your dollars back if you multiply 600,000 multiply by 1.78. 1.78. This is actually your, if you see this thing, sorry, this is actually your pounds, right? And this was actually your dollars divided by pounds, right? But because pound and this pound will cancel, all you will be left with will be the dollars. So after the conversion, you will get actually 1,068,000 back. Now, how much you need to pay to your lender? You needed to pay in this step 1 to your lender 1,050,000. So if you subtract that, you will end up getting the profit from your final proceeds, right? So $1,068,000 minus 1,050,000, you will get actually the 18,000 pound as your dollars as your profit. So this is basically covered interest arbitrage profit. So CIA profit, this is what you are getting today. Now if you do not basically lock your position at the forward rate today, then you have the situation of uncovered interest arbitrage, right? So this covered interest arbitrage with the certainty and for surety will give you $18,000 profit. With the uncovered interest arbitrage, it literally depends that what would be the rate after a year. So when you went ahead after a year, it depends that what is the rate, and your profit totally depends on the spot rate after a year. Now, what was in the step 3? What was your asset currency? Your asset currency in which you had your proceeds, these are pound. If your pound will appreciate, that's good for you. It does not matter you are American, right? So if your asset currency will appreciate, you will convert it back to your dollars and you'll get more. But if this currency will depreciate, means the pound will depreciate, that's not good for you, even if your domestic currency is the US dollars. So let's suppose if instead of having the rate of 1.78 dollar per pound, the rate turned out to be after a year, say $1.82 per pound. So what is happening? Is the pound appreciated? Yes, pound appreciated. The forward rate given you the guess of 1.78 per pound, right? Now the pound actually has appreciated. So how much will you get back? So instead of multiplying 600,000, you needed to multiply it with the instead of multiplying 600,000 with 1.78, you needed to multiply it with 1.82. So I'm doing the calculation right now on the calculator, which is in my hand right now. And if I'll multiply it with 1.82, you will actually get the proceeds of 1,092,000. So this will clearly tell you that if you now subtract your 1,050,000, which was the interest and the principal you needed to pay to your lender, then what is your profit? It is actually 42,000. Now why it is more than the 18,000 which you are receiving over here? The simple reason is because your pound has appreciated. So rather converting 1 unit of pound to 1.78 units of dollars, you are able to convert it from 1 pound to 1.82. So let's suppose after a year, even if you have locked into the position and this turned out to be the actual spot rate, you actually only get 18,000 because you lock yourself. But this was a certain profit. The rest you will not be able to get. So 42,000 minus 18,000, 24,000 you were not able to get. But again, it's a chance, because after a year, maybe the spot rate could have turned to 1.75 per pound. In that case, how much you will be getting? So again, multiply 600,000, which were your proceeds from the pound in the step 3 with 1.75. If you will do 600,000 with 1.75, if you will multiply them, you will actually get 1,050,000 back, right? So this means that after paying your principal and interest proceeds back to your lender, what are you getting back? You are getting zero. So it's like all these efforts actually gone in, like you have wasted, and you are actually indifferent that like there was no reason to go and through all these steps and do the investment. So again, this was the situation of the uncovered arbitrage, where let's suppose if the pound has appreciated compared to the forward rate and it is depreciated compared to the forward rate, so you will remain uncertain. So the certain situation in order to earn the profit totally is under the covered interest arbitrage, where you will be undertaking the step 4. I hope this question had made things clear to you. One last thing which I want to mention over here. Let's suppose what if your investment horizons, rather being 1 year, it is only 180 days. So this being for 1 year, it is for 180 days. If it is for 180 days, then all these interest are always given in terms of per annum basis. So you need to do the conversion. And how do you do the conversion? By using this formula. So you multiply this number of days. So over here in this number of days, you will be plugging in the 180 and also over here 180. So 180 divided by 360, you will actually get 0.5, both over here 0.5 and also over here 0.5. And these 0.5 needed to be multiplied with ID. So it means if ID is, let's suppose if it is the dollar interest rate, which is 5%, so 5% multiplied with 0.5 will give you 2.5. And over here, if F currency, because this is in the base currency and over here the base currency is the pound, so 8% multiplied by 0.5, it will give you the 0.4. So this could have been 2.5 and this will turn into actually the 4% if these are for 180 days, and accordingly you do the calculation here onwards. So this is all from the interest rate parity question from now. Thank you.